There's no shortage of crazy people in this world, and it's in a lot of ways job security for me. Even today, a day where we don't have a ton of news, there are plenty of crazy people out there doing crazy things that we can all point and laugh at. Anytime I touch on this topic, right, the COOF, I try to be as inclusive to my fans, as my viewers, as possible, I should say. Just like with many things, my opinion is you do you, and as long as it's not affecting me, like if you want to wear a hazmat suit to get out and that's what you need to get out and get, groceries, fine. Like, I'm not going to say you shouldn't do that. I might snap a picture of you, and but like, so what? You're not hurting anybody. If you want to wear a mask for the rest of your life, that's your choice too. And you shouldn't feel bad about it. If it makes you feel safe, so what? But then you get the level of, where I generally don't wear a mask, but I've also gotten the COOF, and it was a crummy 2 weeks. And that's a choice I make. And you know how many times somebody's walked up to me and never said anything? Zero. Even when we had mask mandates in my state, I refused to wear them in stores, and no one ever said a word, not even the employees. So you just know that, like, people, I'm not exactly that imposing either. So, it's just the weirdos who watch too much CNN or late night talk show hosts, and they just live in crippling fear all the time. You almost feel bad for them if they weren't so insufferable. This particular one, I'm going to take a look at two cases from the weekend. We have, I'm looking for stuff in his beard lady, wearing a Baylor mask. I assume she works there or has a kid that goes there or something like that. Lady tries shaming maskless couple in a store and shames herself instead. This via Brodigan over on Lauderworth Crowder. When out in public and seeing someone not wearing a mask, there's an entire spectrum of reactions you can choose from. You could have a full-on meltdown, you could act like a creeper, or you could just mind your own beeswax and let people live their lives. The woman in the video did not choose option C. She chose to publicly shame a couple for not wearing masks, or rather, attempted to publicly shame them. The only person she shamed was herself and her family. They now have to live in shame, knowing their mother, sister, aunt is a laughingstock all over the internet. Now, this video has 500,000 plus views over on Libs of TikTok. And I genuinely feel sad for these people. I believe they have a mental illness that is like, look, I've talked about this before. I think I tweeted about it. My mom lives in so much fear that, like, she wanted me to spray antibacterial stuff on her Christmas presents. Something I refuse to do. I'm just not doing that. You can live in your world, but I'm going to visit, but I'm not going to live like you live. If you want to spend the last 10 years of your life living in fear, that's your choice. And I'm not going to get in your face about it. We're not going to argue about it. It's just, I'm not taking part in it. I'm not going to feed into it. I think that that's the only reasonable reaction. Now, we're talking about being in a grocery store here, certainly a place with plenty of room to social distance, right? So we know that this lunatic knows this. They know about the rules, and they still do this. Let's take a brief look at what this lunatic is up to.
It's great to wake me when I was 16, when I was 17. That's what he asked. Because I'm really ill.
They sound like in the freezer section or by the fruit.
I'm looking for stuff in his beard.
Why?
Do you hear those voices? Sally and Joe Taylor Berry.
She needs a better bra.
These people wear a mask. I mean, all we ask is they just wear a mask.
I just looked over the funny dances.
Lunatic. She's wearing some sort of cheerleader coat. There are two components to this meltdown. The first has to do with what we didn't see. There was had to be some sort of confrontation between the lady and the cameraman that required him to take out his phone. That's when Karen decides to put on a show. Only she can assume, one can only assume that has her gyrating and dancing around. At no point did it occur to her that she was the a-hole in this situation. Rest assured, Karen, you are in fact the a-hole. The other thing is how she tried rallying the other masked customers to her cause, and they wanted nothing to do with her. The first dude more into mocking her dancing than he would be shaming a family without face coverings. You see, in the real world, not the crazy world that exists in her mind, where dogs wear masks and the color of the sky is Fauci, that the masked and unmasked can shop together in perfect harmony, all we need are two things in common: the need to buy milk and eggs and the mutual understanding that this lady is a nincompoop. I give a slight pause in this video, what might be a little too on the nose, that Karen Mee is shopping in a ringmaster jacket with the word femme on the back. She couldn't be any more of a stereotype if she was wearing one of those pink hats and a Biden button. It's hard to tell parody from reality these days, but I'm sure that at least 90% sure that she is actually like this. It's sad, really. It's like,
bring it on, buddy! Let's do this!
By the way, she's wearing a cloth mask. I wonder if she read the latest update about cloth masks. If you're in a store and you're shaming somebody and you're not at least wearing an N95, then I don't want to hear from you.
Trump, didn't ya? Woo!
You voted for Trump, didn't you?
Didn't want to bring anything down to superstars. I bet you voted for Trump, didn't ya? Woo! Trumpers! Woo!
Most people that I know that don't wear masks either didn't vote or don't talk about it.
Yeah, they don't wear masks. We're gonna put them in masks. Woo!
Nobody cares.
Let's see that.
Do you think, look, we've all been in situations where you have to wear one, right? And you can, I think it's safe to assume that the overwhelming majority of the people, wherever this is, you know, they're not happy about it either. And they're probably looking at this couple who doesn't wear them and like wishing that they had that solidarity. Early on, I remember there was a moment at Home Depot where, like, you know, I had to go in and get something for a ceiling fan light attachment, whatever, adapter. And, you know, it's funny seeing like my wife doesn't wear one either. And like people like these old timers are just seeing her without one and they're just like taking theirs off. You know, like, again, if you want to wear one for your own safety, be educated on it and get the right one. But you know, I don't think any of my viewers would be going nuts like this and getting in people's faces. This is like some sort of psychosis. On the same weekend, we have a white woman losing her mind, saying Black Lives Matter, and then pushing a black man.
What you guys doing?
By the way, they're also wearing the disposable garbage surgical masks that are the least possible effective thing you can wear, as far as how I understand the CDC.
Don't you have to get out. Don't touch me. I'm not touching you. Oh, did you just hit me? Did you just hit me?
By the way, whoever this gentleman is should press charges. Every single time one of these lunatics raised their hands to you, I went through this with Vito and Masterson too. I said, I know it's annoying and you feel like whatever, but until these idiots start getting charges on them, they're going to think that they can do that. It's not okay. I don't care if they didn't hurt you. If they raise their hands to you and put them on you, you should file charges on them 100 times out of 100. It's generally only one side of the political aisle that thinks that they can do this stuff, and it's the other side of the political aisle that thinks they're above pressing charges. That's stupid. You should press charges every single time, and if they hurt you, you should sue them into oblivion. That's the only way that this is going to stop. Well, there's a third way, but I can't say anything about that.
You just hit me.
You just hit me. You too.
Black Lives Matter.
Yo, this is great. Wow.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives
Black
Matter.
Lives Matter.
Yo, stop recording me. I don't know you. Yo, you need to stop.
No.
No, I'm not.
Get out. Are they calling him Black Lives Matter? They're yelling Black Lives Matter as they raise their hands to a black man for not conforming to them. I mean, what? These truly are hilarious times. Hopefully we can point out the extremes. Look, by the way, it's also wrong if you're some sort of lunatic going around coughing on people or being, you know, indignant or like hovering over people to make them uncomfortable. That's not, I'm just trying to think of the other side of this argument. You know, like when I go to stores, I don't wear one, but I also make sure I give everyone a wide berth, and, you know, they're not required where I live anymore. But when they were, and I didn't, I made sure I gave everyone a ton of room, and, you know, and it was reasonably as safe as I could be. There's that, and then there's like shoving it in people's face, which also isn't okay. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.